Okay, so to get back to where we were, in terms of what's going to come next.
Right. So basically, what they have done is the revelation have taken place. I'll go back to the Illuminati, why they use that. In the revelation, as you go back history, a thread of guarantee has been put, and that is in the lineage of Abraham. That is guaranteed not to be cut. Okay? So as the ETs have come in and tried to make their own lineage, they find it's always been cut. But they realize that when they associate with the thread of Abraham, be they the Israelites or non-Israelites, mainly the Israelites, who are guaranteed in the Torah not to be completely destroyed, they have got themselves attached to it in order for them to guarantee their existence as well. That's why you see you have a good God-fearing Jew, and then you have another family member from the from the black the families, what's their name, the black pope, and the royal families, the royal families that have come in, they have joined and married into this lineage.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why when you see them, you think they are Jews. It's not. They've taken the cover off the sons of Israel in order to be protected while it's taking place. And this is what Jesus referred to as the tares. You know, you have the main one, the child, the proper believing Jews, and then you have the tares, which are basically the alien-driven agenda, which go through these ones, and they work with them. And as Jesus says, if I pluck them out, you will be stuck to them. I need to separate them. You see? So a separation needs to take place. And the only way to separate them is to make sure that all the good people like you and I and various other people are actually held back. Their light, their goodness is held back for a while, because the snakes and the lizards and the creepy crawlies, once they see light, they will keep in their burrows. So what has Betel and through God through Betel have done is made sure that there is not much light at the end, closer to the timeline. As much as possible, they are pushed away. If there are two people, like yourself and your partner, you are too much light. One of you take away. Because you're not allowed to have a lot of light. If you have a lot of light, those negative entities who are hypocrites cannot come out and actually say that this is what we believe. This is how we take out the agenda. Because the main idea is they need to act out what they believe. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
They must act out what they believe. How do you do it?
Well, to reveal themselves for who they are.
Exactly. So if there are light people in there, they will not reveal themselves, and they go in behind the scenes. So the light people were pushed away, pushed aside, put into a very difficult scenario that acts for them as proof that
it's a kind of a shield, though.
Yeah, the light people have been shielded.
Right.
It works two reasons, for two parts. Those who are in the light and the shielded, who are now persevering, have earned the next step, because they have been true to that light. Those who are away from the light and wants the darkness think that the light are weak, and therefore now coming out, and they are revealing all kind of hideousness.
Yes.
But that is not enough. What has to be happen is not only must they reveal themselves, but they also reveal everything that has happened before. So all the technologies were given to them. Okay? Not only that, but they also have to reveal all the practices before. So they were given archaeology. If you've noticed, in the 1800s and 1900s, archaeology just boomed up. When the archaeology took place, they were encouraged to go and manifest those things. So then you see them actually doing all the rituals from the past.
Mm-hmm.
In order for those people in the past to have their representative in the now, acting out the hideousness of what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and having people who will say that we are associated with them. That's why they went to Iraq to get the artifacts.
Right.
Because the artifacts is the physical representation of the past, people in the past, and that gives them the authority to say, we now represent them in the past. That's why God allowed them to have all these artifacts to come in, allowed them to also have all the scriptures to go with it, telling them how to do what they are supposed to, what they did before, so they reenact them again.
Mm-hmm.
So they encapsulate that one. So now, if you say, is Babylon created? Yes. Babylon says whoever does the act of Babylon takes the artifacts of Babylon, enacts exactly the same rituals as Babylon, has the same attitude and behavior as Babylon. This is Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the demons and all the aliens and all that follow those artifacts because they are physical. They know what to do. And if somebody says, I'm your long lost slave, now I'm back again, why not? Everyone shifts to them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the scenario going?
Yes.
That's what timeline 2 was.
Okay.
Which was basically the splitting of normal people, the splitting of the tares, where normal people, decent people, will keep going on line 1.
Yes.
The light is dimmed.
Mm-hmm.
Timeline 2 is given more ability to start enacting things.
Mm-hmm.
It took them 250 years, I know. But that shows how deep in the black they were.
Right.
For 250 years then for them to come up. And Illuminati is just a manifestation of that.
Okay. Now, because this is very well said, okay, so thank you for that. But at this point, just for the sake of the listeners, we need to tell them what it is you are saying is going to happen that involves the return of Nibiru, why the brown dwarf with the mini solar system in essence.
As it comes, they are unsure what to do. So they built the underground bases. Since 1980s, they started huge one. That is their shelter. They could not go in space because in space also on the other planets they are blocked out. So they have their shelter there. They have their shelter here. And that is
one moment. You agree that this is a return. In other words, it's a mini solar system that comes through every 26,000 years.
3,600 years.
3,000. We need to tell them what it is you are saying is going to happen that involves the return of Nibiru, why the brown dwarf with the mini solar system in essence, and so on. How it going into the physics of what's happening in your slides, kind of.
Yes.
We have to make a transition now, and
yes.
then we will tie it all together.
Okay. The two timelines now have two societies. One you call them breakaway society.
Okay.
The society of the breakaway were encouraged to go underground. Okay, let's agree names. If Nibiru is a problem, PlanetX. If PlanetX is a problem, call it Nemesis. If Nemesis is a problem, call it Mini Solar.
There seems to be some serious observation going on in the southern hemisphere and leaks coming out all over the place. It does appear that groups of military and professional astronomers are openly active, let's say, at the Wormwood location in Australia. Well, of course, that's what I've been saying all along. The indicators were all there. And now there are reports that a mini solar system is coming into ours. Basically, you are on your own. Be prepared. That's the best thing I can tell you. And as far as I would suggest that number one, you need clean water. Number two, you need your own supply of food. And number three, you need some basic first aid equipment. Number four, you need some health maintenance natural products. And my own use on this, I use essential oils. Years, as I've advised people through this era of awaiting a extra solar system object, and by the way, there are many of them, there is not just one. This is what scientists are starting to find out, and of course they're not telling the public. And it does appear, I've been saying this all along, it now appears that there are leaks excuse me, coming out of the southern hemisphere of the number of astronomers down there looking at what they are calling a mini solar system moving into ours. This is what apparently Harrington saw back in the early 90s, and in the forefront was, of course, Hale-Bopp, what the comet nucleus that eventually became Hale-Bopp, somewhat of a mini solar system in its own right, but certainly much smaller than the much bigger object coming in behind it. And this would be coming in from the southern hemisphere. The point is, forget about dates. As I said last week and the week before, don't worry about dates. Or don't worry about internet chatter. Don't think you're going to all of a sudden wake up someday and hear on the evening news that, gee, a big object is coming in, and here's the date it's going to be here, folks. That is not going to happen. That's not going to happen on the evening news. My advice is simply to be prepared. If you are not prepared, then what are you thinking about? Are you, and the other thing is, I'm not preaching for people to get prepared, because some people don't want to. I have a friend who said, I want to go up to my roof, put a big X on it, paint a big X on my roof, and if something comes in, I want to say, hit here first. That's what one of my friends says. So not everybody wants to be prepared. Not everybody wants to go through the rigors of living through a very difficult time and try and come out the other end when the success rate is going to be very low. So at any rate, but man is a survivor. He's historically been a survivor. The fact that we are here today is a testament to the fact that man has been a survivor. Our space dollars are being completely diverted into little private, very exclusive space programs of the elite. They're not going to share it with you. They're not going to share their cave systems with you. The question that comes out of this, and which is imperative right now, understanding that we are in a time of celestial change in the solar system, a time of when upheaval and severe change, not just average change, but severe change with our sun, with our weather, with the local solar environment of Earth and the other planets, is potentially going to change radically. How can the people in power, supposedly, that are in the positions of federal, state, and in many cases local government, how can they possibly even cope with this when there has been absolutely no planning done for the general public? And the crisis that they propose to prevent by not telling the public is actually going to be 100 times worse once the public gets the drift of what's going on. The cities, the destruction and the looting, just the complete destruction of our cities is going to happen internally. You wouldn't have to bring an army in here, because the cities will self-destruct on their own. People have not been taught a little thing called personal responsibility, how to take care of yourself and your neighbor and make the best out of a bad situation. Everybody has everything handed to them. Everything is easy. You simply go to the mall with your credit card and everything's taken care of. When all of that changes, I call it the 95% rule. 95% of the public is going to wake up one day with nothing. And the real survivors are going to find a way to deal with all of these situations. And it's not going to be, it won't take long, it's not going to be pretty, but when these major events happen, it's going to happen very quickly. One thing we found out from Comet Bradfield is that these objects, of course, NASA sees them coming from a long time out, from a long distance away, but the public is going to have a week or 2 or 3 notice, is my prediction. And that's all, because we don't have the ability to get to the locations to observe what they are observing and not telling us about. It's a very difficult thing. I've personally tried it myself. And really, once again, especially in the time frame we're in right now, the May time frame, in June, these, of course, are the times that Harrington said were the observing times for those southern locations. So isn't it interesting that in the month of May and June, Australia has all of a sudden become extremely active with astronomers and military types hanging around the Project Wormwood facility in Australia. Now, I'm running out of time here, so I just want to recap what we might see as people on Earth. We may see large numbers of comets. We may see other planets capturing comets. We may see new moons evolving around other planets. We may see planets encountering medium or small or large comets with devastating results. We may see comets coming close to Earth with devastating results. We may be hit by meteors, or many more meteors than we do, and of course this has been happening already. In the past year, many bolide type objects coming in and striking Earth. At any rate, I'm out of time here. The things that we would expect are happening. They're coming in from the south. I don't have a time frame. I do not put time frames on these type of events unless I have sound data, and I'm working on getting sound data. That's all I have to say this week. Be prepared. Good night. This is Jim McCanney. This is my Science Hour, and we are definitely at the crossroads. Good night.